How do you install the pool light when you're installing a new vinyl liner? This is a question a lot of pool owners might have if they're trying to install their own liner, or they're just thinking about the process and they kind of can see the rest of it coming together. But how do you deal with the light? It doesn't really look intuitive like the other components look. And the only reason for this is because you actually, for the most part, for most lighting systems, you need to disconnect the electrical connection. In some cases, you can get away with just disconnecting the light bulb physically inside of the inside the pool, remove the light bulb, and then you can just coil up the wires inside of the light niche itself, and that's good enough for like an aqua lamp style of light. You could do that with. But some other style lights from like Pentair, for example, you can't really do that. They're not made to be disconnected at the bulb like that. Maybe you're dealing with a sealed unit with a cord end on it. Well, what do you do with that? That's where people get confused. And in that style of light, you actually need to follow that electrical cord up. It's either going to go to a deck box right above the area where you're working, or the electrical conduit's going to run to a remote location, probably adjacent to the house or next to where the pump is located, and that's where the wire is going to exit. You need to find the closest electrical termination. Hopefully it's a junction box right there, and you electrically disconnect it. That's how it's done. You you turn off the breaker, you test with your voltmeter to make sure that it's actually dead. You disconnect the electrical, and you pull from the pool, you pull the bulb, the wire, and everything straight out. Sounds easy, right? So anyone who's ever done this before knows that it's certainly not, because what happens is those lights don't really get replaced all that often. And if you have the style where you have to pull it all the way through, not the style where you can just disconnect it and coil it up inside the niche, you could run into trouble pretty easily. The casing on these electrical cords can swell for one reason or another, from chemical reactivity to the chlorine or an imbalance in the water, and the physical cord itself swells inside of the electrical conduit. Well, now how are you ever going to get that cord out of there? You're not. It's never going to happen. You could pull it with a truck. It's not going anywhere. It'll rip the cord in half before you can actually remove it. So this is how you can kind of get into an opening a can of worms situation in dealing with lights. You go to change a vinyl liner, and then you kind of realize like halfway through the job, you're already well started, you've ordered the new stuff and the new liner, you go to take the light out to prep for the new liner, and you're like, oh man, this thing doesn't come out for anything. What do? Well, I mean, you could delete the light. It's one of the things that you can do. It happens. It's not ideal. Obviously, no customer is going to be excited to hear that you have to delete their light, or they have to pay thousands of dollars for you to do open heart surgery on their pool and open the deck and dig down and install a new light niche and find the bonding grid and make sure it's connected. Like, it's a can of worms for sure. So lights on vinyl liner swimming pools is one of those things you got to approach with caution. Don't just jump right into it assuming everything's going to be fine, because you can get in trouble doing that pretty quickly. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.